Missiles in Europe, tariffs on India, a reactor on the moon. This isn't just headlines, it's a global reset in real time. Russia ditches arms control. Trump's turning up the trade heat. NASA's racing China to power the moon. And back home, Indian airports are on maximum alert. From geopolitics to space power plays to your next flight, the world's moving fast and we're breaking it down. Good morning. This is Top of the Morning by Mint, your daily shot of sharp business intel, global trends and market movers. It's Wednesday, August 6th. I'm Nelson John. Let's get started. It's official. Russia has ditched the last restraint on mid-range nuclear missiles, and the timing couldn't be more explosive. On Tuesday, the Kremlin declared it would no longer honor self-imposed limits under the INF treaty, once a bedrock of Cold War arms control. This means Moscow would soon deploy nuclear-capable missiles in Europe and Asia again. The move comes amid a spike in US-Russia tensions. Sanctions are mounting, submarines are being repositioned, and nuclear rhetoric is reaching dangerous new heights. So what's triggered this? President Trump recently warned Putin to agree to a ceasefire in Ukraine by August 8th or face broader consequences. At the same time, the US is threatening sanctions on countries still buying Russian oil, including India. Moscow says it's simply responding to American provocations. Missile deployments in Europe and Asia, and US nuclear submarines lurking in undisclosed locations. Russia now says the INF no longer applies, and it's ready to act. India, for its part, is pushing back, with over 35% of its oil now coming from Russia. New Delhi is warning Washington not to weaponize trade. The MEA called Trump's tariffs unjustified and unreasonable, while Mr. Jaishankar slammed the West's double standards. Meanwhile, with China, India and Turkey leading the charge in Russian energy imports, the old geopolitical map is being redrawn. And here's the thing. Without a treaty like the INF in place, the world is once again flying blind in the nuclear arena. Diplomacy is fading and deterrence is now being dictated by missiles and ultimatums. Between September 22nd and October 2nd, Indian skies may not be business as usual. The Bureau of Civil Aviation Security, BCAS, has issued a nationwide maximum alert across all airports and aviation installations, citing fresh intelligence input warning of possible terror threats or sabotage by anti-social elements. Well, the advisory issued on August 4th orders round-the-clock vigilance at airports, airstrips, helipads, and even flying schools. Every corner, from terminal entry to parking zones and perimeter fences, will see ramped-up security checks, surveillance patrols, and identity verifications. Local police are also stepping up to support efforts on the ground. Here's the thing, it's not just about passenger terminals. Cargo and mail screening is now under intense scrutiny. Every parcel, domestic or international, will be thoroughly scanned before being allowed onto any aircraft. Airport authorities have been told to tighten access control. Staff, contractors, and even visitors must show verified IDs or face immediate denial of entry. CCTV systems must be monitored without gaps, and any unattended bag or suspicious behavior must trigger an immediate response. BCAS has called for urgent coordination among CISF, IB, local law enforcement, and aviation stakeholders to ensure real-time intelligence sharing. Passengers will likely face longer queues and more checks, but they're also being encouraged to report anything suspicious. Meanwhile, emergency protocols are being refreshed and special passenger service committee meetings are underway to ensure nothing slips through the cracks. This isn't just precaution, it's prevention in action. It's heating up again between Washington and New Delhi. Just a day after slapping a 25% tariff on Indian imports, US President Donald Trump is now threatening to raise it substantially within the next 24 hours. Why? Two words: Russia and retaliation. India buys a lot from us, but we don't sell much to them, Trump told CNBC. They're buying Russian oil and fueling the war machine. I'm not going to be happy with that. This comes as part of Trump's escalating trade offensive, pushing India not just for what he calls the highest tariff on US goods in the world, but also for its continued energy and defense ties with Moscow. Russia, meanwhile, didn't take the comments lightly. A government spokesperson said Trump's remarks will be viewed as threats against Moscow, given India's role as a key trading partner. India hit back hard. In a sharp response, the Ministry of External Affairs called Trump's move unjustified and unreasonable and accused the US and EU of double standards. India energy imports are driven by national necessity, the statement read, adding that the same critics are quietly trading with Russia themselves without the same compulsion. With BRICS growing and global alignment shifting, this tariff drama could be just the opening act in a much bigger geopolitical play. Donald Trump is cranking pressure on big pharma and possibly big tech too. In a fresh CNBC interview, the US president said the country will soon slap a small tariff on pharmaceutical imports with plans to ramp it up dramatically over time. In 1 year, 1.5 years maximum, it's going to go to 150% and then it's going to go to 250%. He said, stressing his goal to bring drug manufacturing back to American soil. Trump didn't reveal what the initial tariff rate would be or which countries would be affected. But the message is clear. Outsourcing vital industries is over, at least under Trump-led White House. And that's not all. He also teased new tariffs on semiconductors and chips, saying announcements would soon come in the next week or so. No specifics yet, but the move signals a broader push to reduce US reliance on global supply chains, especially from Asia. If implemented, these sweeping tariffs could shake up global pharmaceutical and chip markets, raising costs, shifting supply chains, and triggering trade tensions just as the world economy tries to steady itself. NASA just hit the nuclear button. In his first major move as interim NASA Chief Transportation Secretary, Sean Duffy is pushing to build the first nuclear reactor on the moon by 2030, according to internal documents seen by Politico. This isn't just about powering science experiments. It's a 100 kilowatt reactor, nearly triple the size of NASA's earlier plans. The goal here is to power future lunar bases, equipment, and long-duration missions on the moon's surface. But here's the real kicker: geopolitics. The directive warns that the first country to set up a reactor could claim a keep-out zone, a kind of territorial power play that could limit access for rivals. That's why this is more than just science. It's strategy. China and Russia have announced plans for a joint lunar base and want to land their astronauts by 2030. That's the same year the US reactor is now scheduled to go live. The race is officially on. Duffy's directive also presses for faster action on replacing the aging International Space Station. NASA wants at least 2 private companies developing commercial stations with contracts expected within 6 months. The goal here is to avoid a gap where China's Tiangong becomes the only crewed station in orbit. In short, NASA is exhilarating fast. Moon, Mars, or low Earth orbit. It's about showing up, powering up, and not letting rivals box America out. That's all for today. Thank you for joining in. We're eagerly looking forward to our next Top of the Morning episode, which will be packed with the latest news. Until then, this is Nelson John signing off. Have a great day.